Welcome back to Bullet Catcher Gaming. This is Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and in this video we will be looking into the mythology and myths involving Auroa, and I am joined today by a very special guest, and that is Chris, and that is Bayonet
Thank you for having
X-Ray.
me.
You are more
Thank
than
you for having
welcome.
me.
No, thank you for being here. Now, Chris has a YouTube channel which is also entitled Bayonet X-Ray, and I highly recommend you go over there and check him out. We could possibly explain just a little bit about what his channel does. But before that, and before we do anything, I am going to quickly get into a comment that came up on the channel from the video The Doorway to Hell, which is where we are currently. And it was from somebody called My Dog is Ace. Now, it took me a little while to realise that's what it said. And they said, what happens if you bring a sentinel soldier over to the island? Does anything happen? Now, we've already done this previously and brought one over, and I just wanted to show you, just so there's proof, that we've walked him around the island and nothing happens. We've brought him to the door and nothing happens. We haven't tried a wolf or anything like that, just a sentinel soldier, but My Dog is Ace. There is your answer. Absolutely nothing happens, I'm afraid. So we don't need him anymore. But one of the other interesting comments that we had was from G.R. Campbell, and he said that the noise that he thought at the door, now I'm pretty sure you can't pick this up on the audio very well at all. If you haven't been to this location, pop over here and listen to it yourself. But G.R. Campbell said that he thinks it sounds like drones, like the behemoth drone kind of noise. Now, I kind of see what he's saying, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's 100%, but maybe they've kind of blended that noise with something else. It could be that it could be something to do with drones, but this whole island seems to be steeped in some kind of history or something like that. Chris is going to get into that in a moment. But it's very, very interesting in terms of that. But because also we had another comment by Vincent Cuthers, who actually commented multiple times on the Doorway from Hell video, where he actually said that he thinks that the map is based on New Zealand and some of New Zealand's history. Regards to Operation Greenstone, for example, which is obviously one of the names used in the operation names used in the game. That is it's a rare gemstone found in southern New Zealand, which is really interesting. And he said that the statues that we see, so like some of these ones that are, I'm not sure if he means this one in particularly or some of the other ones, the bigger ones. He said that they are called the tiki. Now, I have heard of tikis before. And there are other ones called, I'm going to butcher this, but it's the punamu. So that's really interesting stuff. So thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate that. So I'm going to hand you over to Chris quickly, who's going to explain a few things, and then we are going to and then we're going to go and test one more theory afterwards, which we're over by the boat, and then we will head off in the helicopter, and we're going to go and have a look around at a few other locations. Also going to go and look for some of the drones, the drone statues that are around, see if we can find some, and that will be coming up later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. Right, over to you, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you. So I have a bachelor's in sociology and anthropology. So I took a very, very good close look at this island. And if you want to follow me over here, I spent some time in Belize, which actually was called British Honduras back in the prior to '83. And we were supported by the British military. They flew supplies in for us, and we would excavate Mayan ruins led by Mayan villagers. So I'm looking at these sort of, they're called stelas or reliefs. The jaguar there looks Mayan. I'm not sure about the animals that are in this area, but There's definitely some lore here, some mythologies, maybe some kind of ancient battle happened. I mean, if you take a look around the island, you have this sort of Garden of Eden feel over here. These red trees, the forbidden fruit, the apple. So, and then these other statues of these, what I thought, that's just kind of what led me down the Mayan path. But these statues over here, I believe are hellhounds, and they're all over the islands, plural, which is never a good sign. Um,
And there are
so
there are 7 hellhounds. Did you say?
correct, yeah, and I don't know if there's 7 statues around here.
But
There's
there are
obviously
there
the
are
seven.
multiple types of statues, so it could be 7
Exactly.
types. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and even I mean, I didn't go down too far in my archaeology hole, but there's different types of petroglyphs like rock formations. So yeah, there could be 7 of each. Who knows? And actually, I was just thinking of something with the door, and then over here with this mysterious boat and the sound. It reminded me of Star Trek 4, and what would these noises sound like underwater too? So this is kind of what led me to my Kraken theory, or Leviathan, or these sea serpents, which is always prevalent in all of humanity's creation stories. There's some kind of serpent. So that's where I kind of went down my whole release the Kraken theory, and there's Leviathan Bay, there's Kraken Eye Lake. You got to look at the island. So I say we get in the chopper and take a look.
Okay, let's do it. Because one of the things that I am interested in, and I've been pointing out in a few other videos, is the fact that there are certain locations, like at the Carillons, for example, and a few others, where there seems to be red where nothing else is red, which I find fascinating. But
Yeah.
before we get into the helicopter, we're going to quickly run over and check out this
Okay.
boat, and then
Okay.
we're going to fly off and have a look around. So the time in the game currently is we're on the witching hour is between 12 and 1, and someone on the channel commented, it was Jake Richmond, and he said that if you stand near the boat on the beach area, which we are right now, between this time you can hear faint noises in the background which sound like kind of whale call. Now, I must admit, you were never going to pick them up on the audio on this video, but I have heard it twice. Now, it could be, there's a chance it could be a bird, but I must admit, it didn't sound like any of the birds I've heard on the game so far. But Bayonet or Chris heard it as well. Nick, you didn't hear it, did you? But you're over that. You're not over at the boat,
I'm
are
not
you?
by the I'm not by
Ah,
the
so
boat,
yeah,
but the only
we
thing I can hear is like a bird every now and again,
see. No, he said it was
like
over
an
by the
owl.
boat. I definitely heard it twice, and now it's stopped because oh no, it was still in the witching hour, but I definitely heard it twice. So that's a really interesting thing, something that you wouldn't pick up easily. So thank you massively, Jake Richmond, for that little clue. But it's just a shame you're not going to pick it up on the audio. But if you want to hear it for yourself, check it out. Come to this location and have a look. So we're at another location on the map. And one of the interesting things that we just keep finding is that every time you come to kind of a location that looks a bit kind of desolate or it's got some ruins and stuff, like here, we're getting these traces of red again. I mean, there's more red here. It doesn't look that much, but and it's not going to do it now. But as we literally just approach, you get the eerie music starting, where you get the kind of old ruined buildings. You always seem to get the eerie music start.
Yeah.
It's really strange. I mean, you had an interesting theory about like a nuclear devastation, did you?
Yeah. So when you look at the area around it, all these buildings they look like they've been put through the ringer. They just look like they've been blasted, and there's very little foliage on the surrounding trees and vegetation within the village, not the buildings. But, I don't have my Seaburn kit here, or my chemical, biological, radiological nuclear electronic kit to test, but this is the South Pacific. In the 50s, they tested all kinds of nuclear weapons, A bomb, H bomb. So who knows? There could be some nuclear activity as well.
And the interesting thing is that obviously I know that you did some research to see, and you even went to the point where to follow some people from
Oh yeah,
Ubisoft and have a look
yeah,
at see what they were talking about in terms of what their kind of motivations and stuff were for what they were putting in the game. So
exactly.
were they
Yeah,
following anything history wise, so we could kind of get a better look as to maybe what they were taking from history and putting in this map, because they have openly
exactly.
they've openly discussed before about just how much kind of history there is in Auroa and on this map. So trying to kind of work out what that is kind of part of the fun, really. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that it is building up to something, or there will be some kind of story related to that as we move on. So
Oh boy.
we've landed here, so it's right next to a behemoth. So on this location on the map where we are right now, as you can see, this valley. Another little interesting thing, which you do find dotted around the map, obviously, are these. So really showing the kind of prehistoric nature to what the island is. I presume that is some kind of dinosaur bone. There are similar kind of whale bones and things like that you see. And in fact, I have seen something that resembled like a long sea serpent, like you mentioned earlier, the sea serpents. Bones of something very unusual on one of the beaches. Oh my god.
Oh, we're getting targeted. Or
Um,
if they cut our funding,
yeah. Yeah, they're like, no more digging for you
no
guys.
more science, guys.
But yeah, just all adding to the kind of history of the island. It's fascinating, but I'm presuming this is not. I mean, obviously this is ice, so it could have been water, but judging by the location, probably not. But you never know. Probably more likely to be a dinosaur bone. But this is a cool location anyway. So, and
Yeah.
talking of snow and things of such, I'm gonna show you, if you haven't seen it before. I'm gonna take you now to where you can find the Yeti. So as we were discussing the Yeti bit earlier, I thought I'd just chuck this in there quickly. If you don't know anything about the Yeti, if you come to this location, I'll show you now on the map just here between Unknown Glacier and Scott Glacier. There will be this cabin. If you go into this cabin and walk over to here, you will pick up a clue that will be here, and this is what it will show you. If you zoom over quickly to your objectives board, and it will open up this beast lair, and it says, I've been tracking the animal for days now. Its lair is near the river at the south impetuous stream. North from here, cross the bridge to the east, then follow the road, take the first left turn and continue down the road. Take the next left turn and continue till you come to another bridge, then turn right. So I'm going to quickly show you where that is, just in case you want to visit the lair yourself. So here we are. This is the lair. Like I said, in case you haven't been to it, it's right here. There's scratch marks outside, scratch marks on the wall, and we've got this body down here. Looks like they've been frozen for a while. Some bones, more scratch marks. It's on a loot box. Obviously, definitely the Yeti's lair. So if you want to come here and have a look, this is where you want to go. South of Impetuous Stream, right here where that marker is. Okay, there you go. That's the Yeti. So now we're going to look into another strange thing that you're going to find in the game. So we have seen these written before, but another one of someone who commented on our channel. So thank you to Crossfire7. He basically, you sometimes find graffiti like this, which says we are summoning the devil. Now, it also says this on some of these strange statues which are made out of drone parts. So the next thing we want to do is go and find some of these statues, because we believe that they actually are not always in the same places. a theory which we're going to go and test now by having a good look around. So when we find one, we will let you know. So we found one of these statues. We are summoning the devil. We're going to have a good look around, try and find some more. Sometimes they seem to be easier to find than others. And we also, I'm pretty sure that they do disappear and reappear in different locations. But one interesting thing to mention is obviously we are summoning the devil, is that obviously all of the drones in this game are named after different kind of devils. You know, whether it be Azazel and all the rest of it. They've all got devil names, just in case you were unaware of that. So let's go and see if we can find some more of these. So here is one of the statues that we were just mentioning. You've probably seen these dotted around the map. It says we are summoning the devil.
You're really making me nervous.
Made out of old drone parts and maybe even bits of vehicles, but definitely looks mostly like drone parts. So the interesting thing about this is that there was an article from 2019 where associate producer Lucas Kissinger Jr. said, "We really want players to have that feeling whenever they see a militarized drone." And he means regarding the we're summoning the devil. And they said they worked hard to create this animalistic feeling. So when you encounter a drone, you feel like that you're no longer the hunter, you're the hunted. Now, I'm hoping really that these things were a bit more than that, but they've kind of shut that theory down. Now, there are a couple of these that I thought I'd discovered previously, and I went back to find them, couldn't find them, but this is where I am currently on the map. Now, there are actually two more, I think, over here and over here somewhere. And the strange thing is that they kind of form a triangle shape, which, you know, that could just be a coincidence, but, you know, it might not be. There could be more to it. So the we are summoning the devil thing, I don't think it's anything, unfortunately. Kind of cool. You know, I hoped it linked more into the kind of mysteries of the island, but it doesn't. But there we have it. That's kind of that part covered. Thank you for anybody who's given us some feedback regards to this. There you go. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, I will add one more thing. By the way, we are summoning the devil was a very close. It was based on a quote from Elon Musk, where he said, "Regard to we are summoning a demon." And it was regards to the use of AI. So that's where they took it from. Just a little bit of information there. So thank you very much. Massive thanks for watching. And from Bayonet X-Ray, myself, UK Jedi, Farabundus, thank you. We are Bullet Catcher Gaming. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be fantastic. If you'd like to like, that would be even better. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate you watching. Take care.